Is it possible? I think it is. I think it's actually happened. Instagram has given you guys a way to block the messages about the damn NFTs. I think it's sorted. I think it's done. I'm going to show that off among other things. Happy Monday. Hope all of you guys had a wonderful weekend. Here we are back at it another week to get working on our art and photography, business, and marketing. And I found over the course of the weekend, and I'm not even sure if it's a brand new feature, if this has been there for quite some time, but they do have a feature now on Instagram, okay, called Hidden Words. And with this Hidden Words feature, you can actually block people that use the word NFT in any messages they send to you and in any comments they leave in general. So I want to show that off to begin with. And then more broadly, in terms of today's session, I'm going to be doing open Q&A. So if you've got a question, you can ask it about anything going on in your business, and I will endeavor to answer the best that I can. I might have some guests joining me depending on where we are, but I figured I would start out with showing this new tactic, okay, that allows you to stop people from messaging you about the damn NFTs. How much happier will your life be? How many people will be able to save the text that they now have in their profile that says no NFTs, please? So let me show you this and show you how to get there. Okay. So I've got to add this thing to the stage. So I'm on my profile right now. Okay. And so if you hit home by default and then hit the little person icon, this is obviously your profile. If I hit these three little bars, it brings up the menu. So what I'm looking for here, okay, is settings and privacy. And it gives me a whole bunch of stuff here. All right. And so we're just going to scroll down. And what I'm going to select is this one that says hidden words. Okay. And when I select hidden words, one, you're going to have to turn it on. Okay. And then two, manage custom words and phrases. Okay. And so you can tap to view the list that you have already. For some reason, mine has steel in it. I don't have any idea why that is. And then what it's going to let me do, I don't care why that's in there, so I'm going to take it out, is add hidden words that if somebody leaves a comment and or sends you a message, okay, is automatically blocked. And so all you have to do is type NFT, okay, and then Z. I always do that so that it doesn't autocorrect. Done. Back. And that should solve your NFT problems once and for all. They will block the people sending you the NFT messages. And I know all of you will thoroughly enjoy that because nobody wants those damn scamsters and fraudsters coming in there and trying to tell you what's what with the damn NFTs. So I think that's a very, very exciting moment. I know, Nick, you're just joining us. Instagram has instituted a way that people can block the word NFT from messaging. Which is a huge deal for people, right? A huge, huge deal. I said we're doing open Q&A. I want to answer one of these quickly, and then I have a couple of messages. Andres is like, hey there, how do you price your art? If only I had the most guide written in the history of mankind, Andres, which I do. All you have to do is leave a comment on this post, pricing, and what I'm going to do is I will send the guide directly to your inbox, and you can read it because it is the most comprehensive guide, period. Now, Nick,
how good of you to ask? How good of you to ask, Andre?
How good of you to ask. I have two more programming notes before you say anything, and then we'll get into whatever we're going to get into.
Sounds good.
It's the end of the month for us at Art Storefronts. We are running an absolutely ludicrous deal ending this week. I'm not even allowed to talk about it on Instagram for fear that, like, I don't even want to talk about why I'm not allowed to talk about it, but I'm not. So if you wanted to see kind of our software, everything that we do, all the bells, all the whistles, all you have to do, whether you're on Facebook or Instagram, is just leave a comment on this post with the word Zoom, Z-O-O-M. And in like 30 minutes from now, we're running a live demo of our software. The live demo is just like a peek behind the curtain. You get to see all the bells, all the whistles, all the marketing, all the support, all the awesome that we do. Okay, that we do. And yeah, so that's running today. And what other announcement did I have? I can't remember now. That might be it for now. But welcome, Nick. Introduce yourself. Don't ever assume anyone knows who you are.
Hey, everyone. I'm Nick Friend. I'm the CEO and an owner of Art Storefronts.
And happy Monday. Another week where we're back at it with art and photography marketing. You know, if you guys missed the beginning of this, you have to go back and watch it after the fact, because there's finally a way that you can block NFT comments. Okay. NFT messages and NFT comments on your art, which I know none of you ever want to deal with ever under any circumstances, fully aware of that. So that's just a very important thing to know, important thing to understand. You know, in addition to that, you know, I think there's a crazy technique or tactic that I learned over the course of the weekend that I might want to talk about in it's Instagram related, that I think is very easy, but should work for you guys too. But do you have anything burning top of mind that you want to get into?
Well, I just think that's a good topic, but I think given the end of the month and the deal you were just talking about, this mega deal that we're offering for new people who want to join art storefronts,
Yep.
I think it's a good time to talk about the big art selling, opportunities that are coming here in March and April and May, right? Which are, this is one of the best times of the year, outside of the fourth quarter, this is one of the best times of year to be selling art. And I think like all of that is highly relevant right now. And we're going to be talking about it a lot more in March, but it's like a perfect time to kind of, I think we could run through it relatively quickly, talk about what's going to be happening, what you should be thinking about as an artist selling in particular, because there's a lot of people I know that are considering, what they're going to do with their art business. Maybe they're starting it up right now. Maybe they're looking at switching something up, trying to upgrade something or whatever it is. And like the next couple of months with Easter, let's get right into it, right? We got Easter.
Yeah, before you even talk about the holidays, I need to say something at a high level, because this is important.
Okay.
And I should mention that a little bit over 13,000 customers. This is our 10th year in business. And so over the course of the 10 years, we get to see millions and millions of dollars worth of art sales every single solitary year. And I think what's like not immediately, what is kind of hiding in plain sight about art or photography sales, okay? A tremendous amount of art and photography sales, if properly promoted, happen on all the major buying holidays. Okay. And I'll use an analogy. Nobody's going to like it. I need a better one. But like, think of like any time a mattress shop is having a huge sale. That is like, and the mattress shop analogy is terrible, but someone on my team uses it. But that is like sort of the analogy. What do I mean by that? Christmas, of course, is a big one. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, of course, is a big one. Mother's Day is a big one. Father's Day is a big one. Halloween can be a big one. Memorial Day can be a big one. Any of these, 4th of July can be a big one. The start of summer, the end of summer. What's hiding in plain sight is forever we would always think like, well, my art doesn't apply to that holiday, right? Like, I don't do stuff that is gifts for mom. I don't do stuff that's gifts for dads. My work would never apply for the 4th of July and patriotic. And I would have agreed with you. A number of years ago, I would have been like, I totally agree with you. Like, this is nothing anyone is going to give to their mom. Do not advertise this on Mother's Day. This does not look like romantic art, okay? Do not advertise this on Valentine's Day. And what we've learned is what dictates art and photography sales is less about the tone and tenure of whatever the holiday is, and it's more about the opportunity to get a special promotion and or deal on art. That's number one. Number two, a lot of times it's like, I'm not going to sell my art, my photography, or do anything for that holiday because, no one would ever give this as a gift, period, regardless of who it's for. And what we've come to find is that people give the gifts to them themselves just as much as they do to anyone else, right? Like Christmas ends up being huge. Valentine's Day ends up being huge. And we're sitting here asking our customers, who did you sell it to? Did they give it as a gift? No, it was a gift to themselves. And no one talks about that. No one talks about that except the retail stores. Except the retail stores in your town, in my town, Walmart, what's the other one that Target, 99 cents, 99 below. I don't even go into all of them. I hate the stores. But the point is, I do go in for this reason. Every single solitary time one of these holidays is coming, and we have big ones coming up. Every single solitary time. Everything in the store of Target, everything in the store of Walmart changes. Everything in the store of Hobby Lobby changes.
Everything.
They're promoting the hell out of this new thing, right? And Valentine's Day, perfect example, comes along. You're like, well, I don't have a significant other in my life, so Valentine's Day is not for me, right? Or like, I've been married a long time. We don't really celebrate Valentine's Day. It doesn't matter. It is, here's Valentine's Day deals. Okay. Know that this is a big thing and come check it out. Right. And sometimes you might come in for that stuff and have no desire for that stuff and buy something else. But it's something that's easily glossed over. And if there were like art and photography sales 101 class in college taught by somebody that's been doing this for a long time, they would be like, ignore these damn holidays at your peril.
Oh yeah.
At your peril. And no one teaches it and no one talks about it.
No. And it's like, you guys, this is so common sense. This is just straight up common sense. Like, don't fight against all the themes in marketing that are happening out there, no matter what, to all of the consumers that you are buying to. When I go to the market today, right? Because I got to go to the market this afternoon and grab some groceries. Guess what I'm going to see in there? Guess what I'm going to see? I'm going to see Easter stuff. There's going to be an Easter section. And you know what? The market down the street from my house, Pat, they've got it right when you come in. So when you walk in on one side of the store, it's like you got to walk through this little section. It's like, hey, did you know Easter's coming? Did you know Easter's coming? We're already got some things up here. And, and what they're doing is they're priming your mind to know that when Easter, when you're thinking about buying things for Easter, you're like, oh yeah, they have stuff for Easter. But all the retailers, all the retailers are doing this. And the point is, guys, is when you're thinking about like how to market, when to market, and you're thinking about marketing strategy, do you understand how much of like the American economy runs around all of these holidays?
Massive.
Right? All of these, it's just, this is why they exist. If you want to like get meta and get like, look behind the curtain a little bit about, how the economy kind of churns and how they get people to spend money. This is how they get people to spend money. We were talking about this last time, Pat. It's like, has anybody on this live ever looked up like where Valentine's Day came from and where it was invented, or Halloween, or go down the list, right? Yeah. These are times where they get us to spend a bunch more money than we otherwise planned on spending. And there seems to be one or two of these every month or so. Some are bigger than others, right? But having the right marketing strategy as an artist or a photographer is around going with this flow and understanding that it's just about attention. It's not whether your product, your art actually resonates with that specific holiday. Like 4th of July, like it doesn't matter whether you have patriotic art or not, it's just an opportunity to get attention. Okay. Because consumers are thinking a certain way. And for you to ride like a barnacle, or as you like to say, Pat, to water ski behind it, And
I like Tailwind. I like Tailwind too. Tailwind too.
Yeah, exactly. And just take advantage of the fact that these things work and you don't have to invent things out of thin air. If you just ride along with these things and you market the right way, you're doing the right social media posting and sending out emails, and you're doing, the right sort of promotions around these things. Like, this is a very powerful way of doing things. And so right now, what's coming right around the corner, bringing it back to today, is there's, Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day. There's a couple of other little things that are sprinkled in, but March, April, May, June, a very solid 4 months of art selling times that you guys are going to want to take advantage of. And that's the relevance right now. Like, you can't get going and take advantage of these things last minute. You got to get started, soon. Be ready for it, because the marketing for these holidays, it begins weeks and weeks in advance. Okay. It's not the day before or days before. It's weeks in advance of priming, of prepping, and getting all that stuff done. And that's what's going on right now.
Yeah, I actually I've used a bunch of different analogies, but I really like the tailwind analogy, right? Because it doesn't happen all the time, but probably all of us have been sometime in our adult life on a plane where there's been like a crazy tailwind where you're like, exactly what time that plane's supposed to land. And all of a sudden you're in it and you're looking at the phone, and the captain comes on just to let everybody know we have a huge tailwind going on today. And all of a sudden the plane has landed like 30 or 45 minutes before time. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is the most amazing feeling in the history of mankind. I'm 30 minutes early. I've never been 30 minutes early in my life. Right. And it makes you that smiley face that like you and I were just laughing. That was a real emotion when you actually do land early. Right. And it's like that feeling, that wind at your back is what happens when you get intelligent enough to run your promotions during these times when all of North America has been wired to spend money.
Wired. And it's getting pounded everywhere. It's getting
and it's just that's all it is. It's like, okay, yeah, you can do it the rest of the year, okay, and it will work. And of course, I'm encouraging you to continue running promotions and sales all year, but to like just gloss over and not take advantage of these times when you're in your plane and you have a tailwind. Think of how much easier that is when you have the damn tailwind. Like, it's significant, right? It's significant. So you don't want to ignore them, right? You don't want to ignore them. And then in addition to that, like, I always talk about the paradigms, right? And the paradigms are very, very important to me. And the perfect example is like, we Nick and I catch a little flack for this occasionally, and he and I just laugh about it. It's like, our storefronts, why do all your websites look the same? All your website templates almost look identical. They all look the same. Why do they all look the same? I had a guy leaving a comment just like yesterday. He's like, are you guys going to get some new website templates? And I'm like, no. You want to know why we're not going to get any new website templates? Because there is a mind to our madness. All of the website templates are made to look exactly like the art buying experience that is in an art gallery or is in a museum. That is the paradigm of how people view art and purchase art. It is in an art gallery, or if you like, in a museum. Plain white walls, minimalism, well-lit art. And the point is, don't think in your mind that you need to reinvent things, okay? There is a default way that art or photography has been purchased time memoriam. All we're doing is copying what's worked and making it look like that online. And yet a lot of artists and photographers think like, oh, I've got to make my website so it looks like my artistic vision. It's like, no, you don't. You need to make your website look exactly like the purchasing.
Get out of the way.
Yeah, the way that everyone has ever purchased art forever. Okay, so that's the paradigm. We cannot afford to ignore what the retailers who have been in business for damn centuries know. Okay. And what they know is they get huge sales bumps every single solitary time there's one of these damn holidays. They just do. And how it translates for us as artists or photographers is extra attention you would not have otherwise. The wind at your back. And it's like, everyone's like, oh, well, I'm a fine artist. I don't need to follow those rules. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You are a fine artist. You're a photographer that gives a damn about whether or not you can turn your creative passion into something that pays your bills and ideally supports you and your family. You cannot afford to ignore what the retailers have known for like centuries. Okay. It's when these holidays pop up, you need to have sales and promotions because you will make more sales as a result of it. And I bring that up into the context of like, there is a very defined process and how you tease a sale, how you announce a sale, the kind of emails that you send, what your social posts look like, how do the Instagram stories dovetail with the regular Instagram post in the Facebook post, and what that looks like on the email. And then are you sending an email to the people that didn't open? And then how are you responding to comments during the sale? And how are you responding to emails? Are you doing any live art shows during the course of that? There's all of these things, right?
Tradecraft.
Yeah, the tradecraft that constitutes running a successful sale. And guess what? You've got like 15 to 20 times a year to get good at this. And when you get good at this, boy, does it show. Boy, are you a better marketer. Boy, are you better at getting attention. Boy, are you better at letting people know that you exist, that you have new art, that you have an event coming up, that you have a special. And you think you're going to get there by sitting them all out? You're not. You're not. You have to participate, okay? You have to participate in this critically important component of running a business whose focus is revenue and not kumbaya and feel good, okay? We are here to help you create a business such that you can leverage the creative talent you have to feed you and your family. And there are rules, and there have been rules for a long time, and I don't want anyone ignoring them, okay? Because anyone that tells you to ignore them is stupid. They have a hobby. They will always have a hobby. No one breaks these rules. I get so infuriated at some of the advice. It's like, if you want to turn your creativity into a business, which is the reason that we exist, to help our customers turn their creativity into a business, there's rules. There's rules. It's that simple.
Yeah, you got to run a business. You know what I mean? You got to market your business. You got to promote your business. And I love the fact that you talk like getting into like the websites, right? Because that's been our specialty since day one, right? Like for 10 years, like tons of features for selling art, for, converting more visitors into customers, right? With like augmented reality and wall preview and all sorts of different stuff. But, and this, this is coming from the people that have all the bells and whistles, right?
Yeah.
That's not going to solve the biggest, problem with that every artist has in their art business, which is having eyeballs on their art and
Yes.
and marketing and getting in front of more people, right?
Yes.
And so when you talk about, when somebody asks about themes, right? Like, oh, hey, is the design the exact way, or like the theme, like a website theme? It's like, I'm sitting here and I'm going, hey, hey, that's okay. Like, okay that you asked that question, but this is going to have absolutely zero impact on your business.
Zero.
Zero impact. Like, it is, like, you should be asking every question about marketing, every single question about marketing, about how your art's going to get out there, how you're going to be doing your social media marketing, your email marketing, all of that different stuff. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have people coming into your website, then like the website doesn't even matter,
No.
right? And,
No.
and let me tell you too, people will, when your marketing is good enough, people will be DMing you or calling you in any way to get that art out of you, right? The website makes it way more efficient, and it's going to improve your results in the end. But the marketing is what underpins every single successful business that's out there, right?
Yeah.
How you're promoting your art, or promoting your business, how your product is getting seen by people, and how you're growing your audience, right? Like your social following and your email list. Because that's if you look at it like a funnel, you got to get people in the top of the funnel and you got to move them down, and only a small percentage are going to actually turn out to buy something from you. And that's the name of the game. You get people into the top, you move them down, and you keep trying to do that over and over again. Okay.
Yeah. One thing for anyone that's just joining us late, we're running a webinar in 20 minutes that is behind the scenes tour of everything that we do at Art Storefronts. If anybody wants to see that, hasn't seen that, all you have to do is leave a comment on Facebook or Instagram with the word Zoom, ZOOM. Boom, direct to your direct message box and or to your messenger box. We'll send a link, and it's free to register, and you can go check all that out. We're having a huge promotion and a huge deal.
And they don't have to talk. They don't have to do it. Nobody's going to chase you down.
Watch. Yeah, you just watch.
You can just watch.
Yeah.
You can just watch. Just type in Zoom as a comment.
Yeah, if we can keep this thing going, I actually want to pop in, and I've got Zoom installed on the phone. I want to see if I can like do that screen share. But other than that, this is open to questions. You guys can ask any questions you have, anything about what we do as a business at Art Storefronts, anything that you're struggling with, marketing questions. I've got a question from Matthew here. Like, what does the marketing look like?
Love the question though, Matt. Asking the right question.
You're asking the right question.
You're asking a marketing question. You're asking the right question.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's like one secret thing. It's not any one secret thing, you guys. It's just the basic fundamentals. We teach you how to gather emails all year long, both in the digital world and in the offline world. Then we teach you how to email those emails, and then we teach you how to run sales and promotions, and then we teach you how to post on Instagram,
and how to grow your audience.
Facebook. Yeah. We teach you how to find how to advertise in non-traditional ways. We teach you how to run print and merch giveaways to capture email addresses. We teach you how to do in-person shows and fairs. And more important than any of the rest of that is we hold you accountable to doing that all year long, because the number one thing that every artist and photographer struggles with is consistency. And that is just truth. That is just a fact. Artists and photographers treat their marketing, okay, like the New Year's resolution. They sign up for the gym membership in January. They're going 4 days a week. It's looking great. March rolls around, things get tough, and they haven't been once. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. What are you going to say?
I was going to say that, when we were talking about, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter, like these big art selling holidays that are coming up, we give you a 365 day a year art marketing calendar. So you know exactly what to do for all of these. So like when you're supposed to start priming people, you never have that question. You literally can just go right to the art marketing calendar and look, at what's supposed to be done. And we're telling you exactly when that marketing begins for that holiday, exactly what to post, how you should talk about it, how you should be thinking about it, what to email out to make that like just as easy as possible for you, and to save as much time, and to help you, have the most effective marketing during those big art selling times.
Yeah, it's right. It's a tremendous thing to have. And like, look, we live in this amazing world right now, you guys, where we're, as a result of this and the fact that everyone has this on their person all day long, is addicted to looking at it, right? Like, short tangent, but it's like when you realize how pervasive cell phones are. Like, I work from home, and I just had to take my dog for a walk, and there's like a whole bunch of moms and or nannies pushing kids around. And I looked, and I saw at one point in time all three gals pushing the stroller, and all three of them had their phones out. I'm like, this is just insane. So
what about when you look at somebody at a red light next to you looking at their phone?
That always terrifies me.
Do you know what I mean? Like people are at red lights looking at their phones. You're in a doctor's waiting office. Everyone's on their phones.
Everyone everywhere all the time.
It's wherever you're at. You're getting lunch in the middle of the day. Everybody that's eating there on their own is on their phone.
Yeah.
I mean,
even couples with their heads down, both
even couples, yeah. But you know what? Isn't it an amazing thing? I think it's in the age that we're in of the creator economy, right? Which is one of the biggest things that's happening right now and is going to be for the next 10 years, and why that having your own art business is such a huge opportunity. This is something to celebrate. Like if you haven't been in business for a long time, you will never be able to understand and appreciate how hard it was to market your own business 10, 20 years ago. It's crazy that an individual artist can do this from home, and actually promote themselves and get in front of people all over the world without having to buy ads,
leave their house,
go to trade show, you know what I mean? Like do all of these different things. You can just do it, and you can do it from anywhere in the world. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. And what's amazing is we use the term marketing loosely, and yes, we want all of you to continue growing your business year after year after year, because aspirationally, that's the right way. That's the right strategy to have. But the truly small number of followers and fans that you need that are devoted to you and what you create, where you can have a huge business, is staggeringly low. It's staggeringly low. Now you got to get the alchemy
way right. Lower than everybody thinks.
Yeah, and you got to get the alchemy right on both sides, right? You need to get loyal and devoted followers. You need to find, a niche and a style that really resonates with people, and there's variables in there. But the point is that no one is saying you need to have 5 million followers. Okay, you can have a huge business with 5,000 followers, a huge business, a multi-6-figure a year business, and that's pretty damn exciting, right? Especially as an artist or a photographer, because before, the power loss they did was the people that got into the galleries, and that's it. The rest of you guys were just struggling. Good luck, right? So it's very, very excited. So for those of you that have joined just lately, in 15 minutes, we're having a webinar for anyone that doesn't fully understand what we do at Art Storefronts, wants to see the plans, wants to see the pricing, wants to see all the bells and whistles. So if that's you, and you would love to see what that looks like, we're having a free Zoom in 15 minutes. And all you got to do is leave a comment on Instagram, on Facebook with the word Zoom. And you can join in and check it out. And we have a crazy deal that's ending on Friday. And if you're one of the ones watching on YouTube, just leave me a comment. I'll see it.
Ending at the end of the month. It's actually Thursday.
Oh, are we on a short one? Oh, of course.
We have a short week. Yeah. So the last day of the month is on Thursday. So, yep.
So Thunderdog, just check your IM box, and that's going right there. Todd Monk, how you doing? So I kind of want to talk about something controversial. Okay. And sometimes you have to throw these things in, right? But everybody gets trolls. Okay. You just do in life, right? It just happens. There's nothing. They're gonna say things about your art. They're gonna say things about your photography, and if you're the one posting on a regular basis, you're gonna end up taking it personal sometimes. Okay. It's really, really hard to completely ignore all of it all the time. And there was a time 3 months ago or 4 months ago or so where I took one personally. Okay. Somebody lit us up in a comment, and I was like, I'm just not having it. I've been working too hard this week for you to say something like that to me. And so I went and left them a comment. Okay. Where I was like, it was very nice how I did it, but I was like, you can't say that here. That is so wrong. Why would you do that to me? Da, 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 da. And what was wild about what happened, I'm trying to find it because we got so many posts, is our customers rushed to defend us in this thing. Okay. And it ended up being one of the most powerful pieces of content I've ever seen. Okay. And the reason that I bring it up, and I'm going to show it off here as soon as I find it, is that, people love it when you're real, you guys. When you are actually being you, and there's no filter, there's no pomp and circumstance, no makeup, you're not hiding anything, you're not trying to act like you're not a human being going through this same crazy world that all of us are, right? And it presents a really, really powerful lesson of this, some of this stuff. that works
I
on
shouldn't be
social
doing this,
media.
but okay,
I'm gonna show
Detrimony.
you.
You're going to
When
show
you
it?
sign up and become a customer of Hard Storefronts, we run internal webinars 5 days a week. I want to talk about the ones that just Nick and I run. Nick's the CEO. I run the marketing department here. The webinars internally for our customers, which are Zoom sessions, go anywhere from 1.5 hours to 3.5 hours. If you take the number of customers that Nick, the CEO, and me, the director of marketing of this company, have handled this week alone, it's probably 475 different customers that the two of us have talked to directly in question and answer sessions that will go anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes per answer, sometimes to 10 to 15 minutes per answer. In addition to that, downstream, I've got other members of my marketing team that are also running webinars with customers. So I would say probably on average, we fielded this week in live webinars alone 1,000 questions from customers.
So this person had no idea what we actually do, right? It's really hard to show this again, but they had no idea what we actually do and the support that we actually give our customers, and just left a drive-by comment, right? But I responded in a real fashion, just saying you know what, that's just a low blow. And then what ended up happening is the sheer number of comments from my customers, and thank you guys, all of you that left one. I can't find it right now, so I'm not going to show it, but there's 50 positive comments that are every single solitary one is a testimonial, and it reads like a testimonial, and they're insane, right? They're I've never been let down at Art Storefronts. They always answer my questions. I'm able to get help at any point in time. I feel so supported on my journey. So the point of it is that most of you guys are always constantly struggling with what to post and when to post, and do I just show my art, or do I show anything that's going on in my personal life? And I think one of the things to really just encourage you on is just be real, and don't worry about, I don't have an interesting life. There's nothing that I do that's super interesting to people. People are not going to resonate with what's going on. I've got this struggle, this strife, this turmoil, these issues that are affecting me negatively. Nobody wants to know about this. And the more that these things come up for us, the more that I realize that's what people resonate with even more. Everyone is going through things or has gone through things. And when you put yourself out there, even just a little bit, all of these people end up flocking to it because they're oh my gosh, that's happening to me. That might be happening to me right now. That's crazy that you're going through that. I've gone through that. Or that is just so real. I respect them so much. And I think because we've had so much of the other nonsense, okay? Stock photos, right? Stock video, no one actually talking about what they're really doing or who they really are. This Instagram trend of here's my Mercedes, here I am flying on the private jet, here I am at the vacation spot. None of that is real, right? And then when you actually talk about what's really happening, and by the way, we all have some real in our lives, okay? We all have some gray hair, we all have some nicks, we all have some things in the closet and weird family and everything else. When you're real, my goodness, does it resonate? My goodness, do people get bonded to you? And at your peril, will you ignore the bond that you have with your audience? As artist and photographer, there are so many people that are out there that are following you because they love who you are just as much as what you create. And it's just I don't know, it's an extremely powerful lesson, and I feel like it's where the pendulum is swinging.
Yeah, and I think it should be kind of relieving, because I know that feeling when you're first on social media, you're first doing your own videos or lives or things like this, and it's for some reason there's a tendency to want to turn it into a show of some sort.
Yes,
and that's what gets you to not go live, right?
To not do the work.
Exactly, or to not do the work, right? Exactly. I don't know what to post.
Exactly.
It's if you aren't, and I think another important way to say it to everybody is that there is no other way to go. You have no option, right? You can only be you, and you have to be you. And ironically, the more you
everyone else is taken. Everyone else is taken.
And the more you fight against that, the worse your results will be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the more you just be you and you don't think about it as much and you just be you, then the more people are going to resonate with you. And getting people to resonate with you and what you're doing is how you create true fans. And this directly relates to what Patrick was just talking about, where it doesn't matter if you have 1 million followers on Instagram or on Facebook, because we've seen all the data. right? We have what 13 or 14,000 members at Art Storefronts now. We've been doing this for way too long, and we know like we have customers that have over 1 million followers, totally legit, and they're being outsold by people who have 5,000 followers, right? Because if those 5,000 followers are all solid, maybe not all of them, but most of them are really solid and they're fans and they're committed. Those are the people who are going to spend the money with you, who are going to want to see your newest pieces and, get the newest stuff or whatever it is. And that's all about connecting with people for real and doing it in a way that is going to help your business, but it's just you being you. It's just you being you. So there's no reason to stress about any of it. Let people into your world. The easiest way to do it is to show them your process, right? You don't have to sit here and be like, I'm going to talk about all my, pain and problems. Like some people don't want to be doing that. And we're not like advocating for doing that, but like a lot of artists just post their 2D image and say, sunsets, in Hawaii or whatever it is. Right. And it's like, how about like, how did you go about taking that image? What were you thinking about? Why does this matter to you? Right. All of these things are letting me into your world. Okay. Just maybe some of those things that you write resonate with me as well. And now you got me in. That image, that piece of art now takes on a whole new meaning. And that's where the magic is.
I push so much harder than Nick on this. I'm like, show me the pain in your life. Trust me, there's others that are going through it, right? But the larger point is get people a window in, right? Like give people a little window in. Don't just share your art. I'm continually blown away by like how well it resonates as content, and like, look, no one's saying that you have to like get, hold up a list and read through your deepest, darkest, right? But feel free to be mildly vulnerable from time to time. And I think like a lot of times, you will be blown away by what happens in the results. And a lot of times it comes from messages. A lot of times it comes from increased follower count. Chris Bonilla Art asked a question, are reels for sales? Because I rarely do them. I'm going to answer that quickly though. In 5 minutes, we have a Zoom session starting, totally free. For anyone to attend. It's a complete tour of our software, all the bells, all the whistles, because we have a huge deal. I'm looking at the title that I'm not allowed to say right now, by the way. 3 days left to lock in. I'm not going to say it because I've been instructed on a meeting this morning that I'm not allowed to say it, which is fine. Okay. But it's a huge deal that we don't normally offer. And so if anybody was even remotely considering like, okay, who are these guys? What do they do? Can they help me? You can see all of that right now in 5 minutes. All you got to do is leave a comment with the word Zoom. I will send you that link to your Instagram DM box and or to your messenger inbox. Okay. Yes, reels are important for sales. Chris Bonilla Art, they're important for everything, right? And what it comes down to, and I sort of have to go on the high level explanation here for why they're so important, reels. But we're in a new world, a whole new world in social media. Okay, ushered in primarily by the fact that TikTok has introduced competition to what was a monopoly, i.e. Meta owning both Facebook and Instagram. And what TikTok taught Meta is that every one of the platforms, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google, actually, technically a platform, YouTube, Google search, I should say, but YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, they are all having a battle. And the battle is for how do I keep people on my platform the longest without leaving, having the best time possible? Because the more that happens, the more ad inventory they have to sell, the bigger their business is. And so what TikTok taught Meta, okay, through some competition is that the algorithms know what we want to consume more so than just who we follow. And this is a profound difference. And it's glossed over. I don't think enough people are talking about it, but TikTok single-handedly, which everyone knows I hate. Nick likes it better than I do. I hate it. It single-handedly drove this through. And what it means is before you would only get your content seen by people that follow you. That's it. Unless you were paying money for ads, the only people that saw your content were your followers. Now, when you create reels and when you create posts on Instagram, same is true on Facebook, Instagram, Meta will show those posts to people that do not follow you for free. This is an insane and staggering thing. Now, we're all about the show and tell in this operation, and so I want to show you how this sort of manifests itself. If you go to your profile on Instagram and the 3 little bars up top, and I always get yelled at for this. So the disclaimer is you can't have a personal account on Instagram when you're doing this. You need to have a creator account or a business account. You can Google how to do that. It's very easy. But when you go to Insights, okay, I'm going to click Insights. This defaults to the last 7 days. And so I'm going to see the content that we have shared and the brand account art storefront over the last 7 days. Okay. And it's going to show us essentially the most popular. Okay. And we'll just pick one of the popular ones over the last 7 days. And what I'm looking to do is scroll down, and I believe they put the metric in reach. Of course, it's loading slowly while I'm showing this. But inside the reach here, what they're going to show me as soon as it's done loading, take your time, of course, when I'm doing the display, is how many people that this post reached of my followers versus how many people this post reached that do not follow art storefronts at all. Okay. And of course, there it goes. There it is. So this is what I want to show you. Chris Bonilla art. So this particular post last week reached 1,799 of our followers, and those followers had like a really good reaction to it. So as a result of that, Instagram went ahead and showed it to 1,470 people that do not follow us. That's staggering. Okay. That's staggering. Like in Nick and I's day, that was a check that Nick had to write to Facebook to show our post as ads to reach that 1,470 people. Here we are. We got it for free.
That's almost double.
Deal. Yeah, it's a huge deal.
It's huge.
Nobody understands. That's one post, right? So,
and by the way, that's one of the benefits of positives of TikTok, right? The way that they influenced Meta, because this is better for all of you guys, every artist and photographer. It's better for everybody, right? Yes. Like for the individual creator, to not be locked into the people that are only following you. And that algorithm, that TikTok, I mean, it scared Facebook. It scared Zuckerberg pretty bad. I mean, it became like a major thing internally. Like, wait a minute, their algorithm, their feed algorithm, right, that people are scrolling might be better than ours, and it's going to disrupt our business. And so they started changing everything around, which makes it better for all of you. When Meta was just a monopoly, like they got away with it. They didn't have to do it, but they kind of got forced into it, which is better for every artist and photographer. And that's awesome.
Yeah. And Nita says on here, which I'll respond to quickly, like, she's mentioning the tip, like, don't download a TikTok and try to share it on Instagram, or don't download an Instagram and try to share it on a TikTok. And like, they're all at war with one another, you guys. They're literally at war. Like, it is world war attention. And they're all fighting each other to the death, every single solitary one of them. Now, why do I bring that up? Got to respect the platform you're on. Got to play the game on the platform you're on. The beautiful thing for you guys trying to sell art and photography and not have a hobby is the only two that matter for you is Instagram and Facebook. Okay. No one I know can prove to me that they've sold any art on TikTok whatsoever, aside from a onesie, twosie here, get lucky, nor Pinterest. Okay. Nor SEO. Sorry. Don't lie to me. Okay. Don't lie to me. Show me the analytics. Okay. Do not lie to me. It's not happening unless they search your brand name, which is a different deal entirely. So the game in town right now is Instagram and Facebook. No one's selling art on Twitter X. Sorry, not happening. Not even the NFT people, right? Like so why do I bring that up? I bring that up to say, like, oh, this is awesome. Look at these other things you can completely ignore. Those are hobbies. Those you do that in your downtime, but don't. If you're trying to sell your art of photography, I want you to focus on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram being the primary, Facebook being the secondary, and just get good at doing that.
Yeah.
Get good at telling stories there.
This is super important what you just said there, right? Because it's like when you guys, when we're saying like nobody's selling art there, nobody, we're not talking about the onesie or twosie or the person. Of course, you'll find a person here or there, or maybe you have sold one piece on one of these things or a couple of pieces, doesn't matter. What we're talking about is, generally speaking, the attention is on Facebook and Instagram, right? Mm-hmm. And the thing that we know, and I'm getting to the most important part here, the thing that we know is that I'm not even going to say the vast majority. I'm going to say every artist and photographer, because we've got 13,000 artists and photographers on our platform, right? Every one of them does not have the time and does not do the marketing that is required, that should be done to build your business, to build your following, to get more eyeballs on your art, and to close sales. And so when we know this, when we know how hard it is for so many artists to do it, and ones that are even selling really well, right, to get to that next level, you got to eliminate some of these things because you're going to drive yourself insane. And that's the whole point, right? Like, you know, if all the attention is here, then you shouldn't be focused on threads, right? If like we know that when the vast majority of people, when we're, you know, as we were talking about at red lights, in restaurants, everywhere you see everybody staring down at their phones, they're mainly on Instagram, Facebook, right? And some are like, obviously people are on the other platforms, but these are the biggest, right?
Yeah.
And so your job is to maximize that first and take advantage of that, generally speaking.
Yeah, I want to. You got to be willing to break things and ship things. Okay, I'm going to try to jump into the Zoom meeting right now on the phone and see if I can screen share it. I have no idea whether or not it's going to work. Sometimes you got to just go for it, right?
Go for it.
Yeah, why not? All right, so I'm popping in. I want to show.
You're going to try to stream the demo live. That's actually happening live right now.
Just you got to ship, dude.
Yeah, might as well. See, guys. Like, here's another perfect example of you got to just ship stuff, and that's what we need to
categorize the work. If you guys need help with this, we would help you categorize it. That's all part of the service, of course. Unlimited categories, blogs, pages, all of those things. Your clients click on any particular category. They would see all of the pieces that are in there. Let's say they like this piece. They just click on it.
He's got such a smooth. He's got such a smooth accent. You know, he's got such a smooth accent. There's, you know, what could you do there? So, and look, if anyone wants to join that, all you have to do is leave. He's going to give an entire tour of everything that we do. It's pretty awesome. All you have to do is leave a comment with Zoom, and you can go from there. Okay, I'm going to leave the meeting because I don't want to disrupt him. But by the way, that looks like that works. Yeah.
Oh, that works.
It works great.
That was cool.
Yeah. So look, Mizzy Creations was going back and forth with comments on me on like, well, manga, you know, it's pronounced manga, isn't it? Right? The Japanese like anime is selling on TikTok. And I'm like, is it though? Is it? Because every time I hear about things that are selling, I try to get to the person that's actually selling it to try and get a straight answer. And all I hear is bullshit. Okay. Like our customers would know this. You guys that are not customers wouldn't. My job at this business is just as much to do everything that I can to help make my customers successful by teaching them what to do is teaching them what to ignore, what to run away from, because we all have limited time and limited focus. There's no way you're going to be able to master all these various different social media platforms, right? So I don't know anyone that's making any money on TikTok at all. I know people that are getting a bunch of likes, getting a bunch of comments, and getting a bunch of shares, but there's not any buttons for any of those things on the ATM machine. And I know because I've looked. I was at the ATM machine this weekend, and I looked on there, Nick, and I said, hey, anybody seen any buttons for likes or comments or shares on this ATM machine? And I couldn't find any. I couldn't find any for video views, and that's interesting, okay? And we all need to be honest with ourselves that we are not going to the ATM machine and paying our bills with likes or comments or shares or video views. We need art being sold and shipped to the customer. That is our job, and we need to focus on the places that we can confirm that that's happening. And right now, it's Instagram and Facebook. That's it.
Yeah, and I think there's something to these different platforms. Like the psychology on the platforms, like when you're on it, is all a little bit different. You guys probably notice, like if you're on LinkedIn, you're probably in business mode. You know, if you're on Instagram, you're just think about when you use Instagram, when you choose to use Instagram, and maybe when you switch over to Facebook or any of your personal habits with all of that, they're all a little bit different, right? But just the quantity of the attention that is on, you know, Facebook and you could also, Instagram and Facebook. And it doesn't mean that there isn't attention on Instagram. It's just that our job, right? Our job is to continually ask that question, and it might change in 6 months or it might change in 2 years, right? Like that's just an important thing to say. It's like, it's not like what we're saying is something that's fixed. It's that, you know, when you have the advantage of all of the data that we have and all of the information, and we're checking in on it all the time, we get to continue to look. Oh, you're selling on Pinterest? Okay, how much have you sold? Let's go look at it, right? Oh, you sold something on TikTok? Did you really? Okay, let's go look at it. How much was it? You know, is anybody actually doing this at scale yet? These are the types of things that we're looking at, because if we're going to actually start telling teaching our customers and providing playbooks and know-how around selling on TikTok, we got to make sure that this stuff is actually going to be real and it's going to work. Otherwise, we're not wasting anyone's time on it, because we need all of that time, the limited amount of time that an artist or photographer has to spend on their business, to be spent in an area that you're going to get the highest return on your investment.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And, you know, yeah, Music Creation.
None of us have enough time, you know,
No,
and spreading yourself thin on these different platforms and trying to become an expert at all these platforms is extremely difficult to do. And you're talking to two people that are experts at many of these platforms. And we even say to ourselves,
and have a team of 20, and we're still not rocking those other ones, because you can't, like, you really have to have like a massive organization behind you to try and rock all of them. You know, you have to be like a big brand. And if you're one of the small guys, which we all are, that's just not going to happen, you know? And it's funny because, you know, Mizzy Creations is like, now I hear the money is on YouTube, right? Yeah. You know, everybody's heard of Bigfoot, but no one's ever seen him either, right? Like, you know, it's not on YouTube. I have not seen a single solitary artist or photographer that is actually sell a bunch of art as a result of YouTube. I've seen people do incredibly well selling classes in which they're teaching people to paint, or selling Lightroom tutorials or Photoshop tutorials, or that type of education. So it can work in that capacity, but not for selling wall art. And that's okay. We can be honest about that, right? We can be upfront about that. And then, you know, Dwayne Kier Photography, I'd love to join ASF, but the upfront financial investment doesn't make sense for me right now. Dude, all good. We give away the store, man. We give away the store all the time in terms of the podcast, in terms of this content. There's so much great free stuff that you can bolt into your business and get rolling with. And come find us when you're ready. You know, like, we ultimately we exist, whether internally or externally, to like try and solve the starving artist problem for the best of our ability, you know, like across the board. Right. So, you know, don't worry. We don't take any of that stuff. Personally.
We're playing the long game here.
Yeah, we're playing the long game.
We're playing the long game. This is a marathon to us, not a sprint. So
yeah,
you come when you're ready.
Yep.
Dwayne, we'll be ready for you.
And that's how it goes with our customers too. Like, you know, everyone's like, okay, you know, I'm, and that's awesome. You said, look forward to working with you guys. You know, like, our customers are like, oh man, I finally got through year 5 and I finally started to get some steam. And it's like, told you were going to get some steam. Right. Yeah. Year 5 is when things really start picking up. And it's like, I can't wait to see what the business is going to look like at year 10, year 15, year 20, because we're not flashing the pan. We're not playing the, you're going viral and going to explode in 24 hours. Right. It is a grind. And guess what? They all have the rest of their lives to figure this out.
Yeah. Right? I mean, look, yeah. Building any business, and this is part of us telling the truth out there. Right. And like, not trying to sugarcoat anything. It's like, building a business takes time. Like, Steve Jobs was the one who said it takes 3 to 5 years to build anything, right? To build any business. And it's just the truth. And nobody wants to hear it. They're like, wait, what? Like, it's not going to take 3 months. It's not going to take 6 months. No, it's not going to. If you go into it with that mindset, you're going to lose. You know what it's like, Pat? It's like the marathon runner who thinks it's a sprint, and they blow the gun, right? And he's sprinting as fast as he can. Like, for the first 5 minutes, he's like, wait a minute, hey buddy, this is like a 10-mile race, you know? And then everyone goes past him. He's out and he's gone. That actually happens in the art business, because people, you know, go into it and they go into any entrepreneurship venture. And it's such an important point. And I always try to make this point that it's not specific to the art business. It's specific to any entrepreneurial business. It takes a while to build a business and be successful with it, right? So if you go into it with the wrong mindset, you're just going to burn out super fast. And it's all because you had the wrong expectations and you listened to the wrong people, when the reality is like, you're going to be at it for a while. So that the whole point is, the sooner that you can get at it, the sooner you can get started, and the sooner you can get started on the right path or a better path, you know, the sooner you're going to get to that outcome that you're looking for, right? And having the right mindset is so important, because you need to be positive with things, and you got to take every win that you get, every, you know, new followers, people, you know, commenting on your work, giving you praise, all of these things, like, even if somebody hasn't bought yet, are steps in the right direction. You learning how to do social media better, you learning how to become a digital marketer, you know, a little bit better in this day and age, where an artist, like a creator, can actually market directly to their audience. These are all wins, right? But you got to play the marathon. Don't treat it like a sprint. Do not treat it like a sprint, because it is not a sprint. and you will just, all you will do is just drive yourself insane. And I bet many of you listening to this right now have probably done that before. I've done it myself, Pat. I'm sure you have too, right? It's like you try things and they don't work, and things don't resonate.
And then you're like, why quit? Why me? Like, okay, it's not working. It's not.
You get so depressed about it. It's like, why me? And it's like, you just got to keep going. One foot in front of the other, try things differently. You keep iterating, right? Just make some small changes. Maybe it's your subject matter. You need to adjust a little bit. Maybe it's a little bit like you say something a little bit different in the way that you're posting and all of that, but you got to just keep going and you got to work at it because it's going to take some time. And how often, I mean, it's almost like, Pat, it's not even how often. I think it's the regular story of how we see artists become successful. They start out and they all come into art storefronts with a subject matter. Right? Like with one subject matter, or maybe it's 2 or 3. And then they hope and pray that subject matter is going to be the one that takes them to the promised land.
Almost never is.
It almost never is. I mean, I can't even think of one where it actually went that way. I mean, maybe there's like 1 or 2, but usually it takes some tweaking, some testing. And it's like, and the reason that these people are doing it faster is because they're actually doing marketing. Like the only way that you actually find out whether your art's going to sell really well is if you market it for a consistent period of time, for a while, because you just don't know what's going to happen. It could take 6 months or 9 months, and all of a sudden, like a doctor's office contacts you, then they want 10 pieces from you. And it's like, whoa, nothing happened until then. But most people just give up way too early on it. So it's just so important that you have the right mindset about this.
No, it's everything. JD Wallet 44, see your comment. We've totally fixed this, by the way. Is there any way you can go to the tech session right now? Juan's telling me we got Copilot breakout rooms in that tech session right now, and they can literally get you dialed in right now. So just go to your back end and just join live session, and it's the tech session that's literally on right now, and they'll get that fixed for you.
And so you can you explain to me what just happened there? So JD is a customer, right? And he just asked a question on Instagram right now, and we're getting him immediate tech support.
Yes, correct.
Amazing.
It's something all of you guys can do too, because like you go online, and then guess what? One of your previous buyers is sitting in line at the supermarket, and they look and they see you're live, and they're like, hey, I had actually had a question about a piece, and then you could start dealing with it right there, right? As a final, I think
it's just underscoring and setting the example that we were talking about earlier about creating fans. But in this case, it's like it's being there and talking to your customers, talking to your fans. Many of you are not customers that are listening to this, and just being real and showing who you really are, right? And so like you guys should be doing the same thing. It builds trust with your own audience, right? Talk to them, respond to your comments, and show your face.
Yeah. It's so funny because MC right now is on YouTube. She hears us going the 5 years. She's like, shit, 5 years. She's like, glad I bought the 3-year deal. And I'm like, we're going to be at this for decades. And it's not, MC, it's not that you aren't making progress the whole time, or you're not getting wins the whole time. You are. And that's the beautiful thing. Like once you start regularly and consistently marketing, you're doing that the entire time. But our goal for everyone is just to stay at it, because we know if you guys stay at it and stay marketing, that is what creates the successful artist versus everyone else that has a hobby and is complaining about how nothing works. It's that simple. It's not any more complicated than that, right? So she came around, right? We all make the mistakes, right? Like all we can do is just like have the courage of our convictions to say, by the way, practicing what we preach over here all the time, fumbling around online. Maybe we break some things, maybe we figure some things out, but we're rolling and we're just going to keep going. Nick, we got to leave it there because we're about to lose our Instagram stream. So guys, anyone that wants to jump into the Zoom, you can still leave a comment. Zoom on Instagram, Zoom on Facebook. We can send you the link. You can get in there. You can check it out. And we're going to be doing this more often later today. MJB, quickly, do you think we should put prices on paintings we post? Yes, I do. Yes,
absolutely. Always. Yeah. Number one rule in retail is have a price tag. You ever think about when you walk into a store and you're looking at that like sweatshirt or hat or whatever it is, doesn't have a price tag on it? What do you usually do? Do you go ask what the price is, or do you just walk, to the next thing?
Exactly right. Right. Don't waste our time.
And one final thing.
High net worth people say that. You have literally 30 seconds.
We got 30 seconds. Guys, if you didn't hear this earlier, we have a mega deal to join Art Storefronts, a discount, all these throw-ins, and it's ending at the end of this month, okay, which is Thursday. Thursday is the end of this month in February. If you want to see a demo and take advantage of that and the art selling season ahead, now is the time.
Guys, thanks. I'm going to be doing
Thank you, everyone.
more of these all week long. Anytime you see it, come leave us a comment, ask a question. I'd love to help you out. Hope to see you on a future one. Thanks, guys.